Good afternoon, I'm DickMiles and I want to talk about reiterated triplets on the English concertina and other ornamentation that you can use. Reiterated triplet, generally I play with 2 different fingers, and a very good thing to do is to practice the scale of G like that, but playing 3 notes like that, and then come down. I was using for my G on my left hand side index, middle, index. For my B on the left hand side I was using middle, index, middle, and the only one that was different was my top F sharp, which I was using my ring, middle, ring, because I would normally play that note with my ring finger. Little exercises that you can do to make it a bit more interesting. The first part of Winster Gallop, for example, you can play those as let's say you're basically doing an arpeggio of G, B, D. Like that. You can take the sound of the Garda car, which is an interval of a second apart, A, G, and play 1, 2, 3, and gradually speed it up. Another little beginning of a tune that's handy is the beginning of the legacy jig, where you have a dotted crotchet G, B, G, G, A, B. So I used dotted crotchet, I used reiterated notes. For my first G I used index, middle, index. For my B note I used middle, index, middle. For my high G I used middle, index, middle. Now there are various other triplets you can use. I'll give you an example. Let's take the first part of the Kesh jig. On that first dotted crotchet, right, G, A, G, G, F sharp, G, G, low D, G, G, octave lower, G, and then G, 3 notes of the same. Okay, now there's one other thing that you can do there, well, a number of other things, but the first thing is, because after your triplet you've got a note of the same pitch, you could quite easily play 4 notes there and then come to your G of the next phrase. Index, middle, then G, A, B, and that will sound like this. So I didn't use 5 there, I used 4 because I was coming to a note of the same pitch. Okay, now another thing that you can do there is to use a piping ornamentation, where you play, you think of 4 notes again, and it's the note above, then your note, and then the note below, and your note. So I'm going to play A as a grace note, G, F sharp as a grace note, and then G. I'll play it really slowly. That, right, and now here's another way. G, A, G, G. That's 2 semiquavers this time, and 2 quavers. Okay. There's a 5-note ornamentation that has the same feel as a melodic roll, and that's called a trill, and that's G, A, G, A, G. So you just use 1 note of the same pitch for your grace note. Okay, I find those easiest to do the trills on the higher notes, which is what pipers do, because it's easier on the pipes too to play high G, A, B as trills, and that would sound like this. was trilling on the G there with an A. G, A, G, A, G, A, G, and then G, A, B after the next part of the phrase. So there are some different things that you can think about, ways of ornamenting. I have a tutor available, which is the Concise English Concertina Tutor, and that's available from my website www.dickmiles.com. There are also CDs available there from my shop. If anybody has any query about anything, I'm available. Contact me through the website and I will try and help you free of charge. So I hope that's been helpful for people, and that I've explained it fairly well. So there's a reiterated triplet on my G, index, middle, index, middle, index, and if I was playing and coming to a note of the same pitch after, I might use 4, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, but then that puts me right for the note of the next pitch, same pitch, if it's the same, like it would be on the cash jig. So I might use 4 there. But generally speaking, when you're not using a note of the same pitch, to get your finger back in correct position, 3 is the easiest thing to do. 5 can be done, but it's pretty tricky. I would prefer generally to use 4-note ornamentations, similar to what a piper might do, or the other one, which is more similar to a banjo kind of technique, the 2 semiquavers and the quavers. That's more what a banjo player might do. This is more of a piping sound, where I'm using an A grace note first, a G, an F sharp and a G. Right, and then of course you've got all the different kind of triplets you can use. G, A, G, G, F sharp, G. This is when you're ornamenting a G, obviously. G, low D, which gives a kind of piping sound, and then G octave, see, and you can even do a 4-note thing with the low D. Now when I did that, I did play my 2 G's. I played G with my index, D with my index, and then I played my 2 G's with my index. I didn't actually change fingers as I would do in a reiterated triplet there. So there are occasions when I do use the same finger for the same button. So in fact I do both, but I would suggest for reiterated triplets it is much better, generally speaking, there's always an exception to a rule, generally speaking, to use 2 different fingers. Okay, I'm available at www.dickmiles.com or dickmiles@aircom.net for any further queries. Hope this has been helpful. Have fun with your music. Bye.